Hey everybody, Sergio with the RideShare Guy. Welcome to episode 2 of the 7-part series that we're going to release in reference to the last video we had, or the last interview we had with the CEO of Uber, Dara Khosrowshahi. I'm quite disappointed actually in Mr. Khosrowshahi not being our guest on Show Me the Money Club. I mean, I get it. He's running a $145 billion, global conglomerate. But what better way to learn from the best group of drivers in the country than coming on a live stream like Show Me the Money Club? My advantage is by the growth of the channel and the growth of the audience. What we have done is drivers have become my eyes and ears. We most of the time know things going wrong because we have educated our community to take screenshots of everything now, right? And from the first week, we also said, right, what did we say with upfront fares when it started, which I talked a little bit about it in the first video, is that upfront fares came with something wonderful, which was seeing the destination of the passenger. And as you guys will watch in this snippet, Mr. Khosrowshahi said that it took a lot of deep-end engineering. Okay.
Are getting that information to them. Listen, it's in our interest. It took a bunch of deep engineering work. It's not easy to do necessarily, but it improves the driver experience. And it also reduces cancellation on the
Yeah.
side of riders as well. So ultimately, it was the right thing to do. It's a win-win. It took a bunch of work in the back end, but we've rolled it out in a number of cities, and we've been really happy with the results. And we're going to roll it out. We're going to continue the rollout, and it is the number one feature that I'm personally super excited for.
Uber always knew where the rider was going. Now, I guess time showed up that they had to release it nationwide. And again, in the snippet, he said, cancellation rates were going up, right? Well, that's because if we're driving blind, unlike what were called independent contractors, like what independent contractor does not know the job, what the job entails, before they take on that job? None. Air conditioning contractors, plumbers, electricians. Well, I guess maybe we shouldn't be called independent contractors, right? Because if we're true independent contractors, we need to know what the job entails and what it's going to pay. Well, with upfront fares, both showed up, right? So there was a take it or leave it price, and there was, first time in a decade, we were able to see the destination of the passenger before we accepted the trip. And Uber expected that those cancellation rates that Mr. Khosrowshahi talks about in this snippet, they were too high, and nobody likes cancellations, especially the rider and Uber. It kind of supposedly it messes up the network. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure the cancellation rates are under control now because we have the choice of accepting or declining a trip to our own parameters. What the job entails, we know ahead of time, so we don't have to accept and cancel later. Now, for that reason, I think job well done on Uber's part, that we finally knew where the riders were going. And Uber releasing it 10 years later is a completely different subject. However, Uber has a national acceptance rate crisis now. Upfront fares, we all know where the rider is going ahead of time. And in the future few videos, we're going to talk about different comments Mr. Khosrowshahi made regarding the pricing issues that we're facing these days. Now, have any of you, if any of you are making or earning more gross dollars with upfront fares than the rate card that was applicable to your city, please email me, sergio@therideshareguy.com. I would love to interview you and put it on our Behind the Wheel series. As far as the interview with Harry Campbell 2 years ago, that's the only reference point I have. And I think it's time that we dissect this upfront fares. 2 years is enough time to figure things out. And if any of you are watching Show Me the Money Club every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, we have completely torn down this new offering by Uber. We have discovered so many different things that comes with upfront fares, from surge shaving to tip shaving to EV promo shaving, which we got a lot of drivers paid handsomely over the last 2 years. I mean, my intent was not to become an investigative journalist doing Show Me the Money Club, but I was put in that position and I gladly took it on. And without you all being my eyes and ears and sending me tons of screenshots by the hundreds every week, we wouldn't have been able to discover all these so-called glitches in the system, right? So I'm glad that we created this community. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying what we're doing. And as drivers advocates, we're going to continue doing it until and put these companies' feet on fire until they get rid of all these so-called glitches. Oh, this is what it is. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying any of it. Right? So what they did is they solved one problem by lowering cancellations. But now Uber is facing another major problem. What is that? That is low acceptance rates nationwide. The reason they have released this new product called Advantage versus Standard drivers in 9 cities, which I'm pretty sure is a wide test that they're running, and if it works out well and if acceptance rates get a bump, because in the so-called 5% earnings bump drivers are going to get, they're hoping that this acceptance rate problem that exists nationwide is going to go away. I don't think so. I don't think 5% is enough for anybody to not decline garbage and know their worth. So to us, maybe 25% would have been good enough to increase these acceptance rates. Well, there is very high acceptance rates in one state and one state only. You all know, we talked about it on Show Me the Money previously. That started with the city of Seattle and the state of Washington. Acceptance rate in that state runs over 90% on average. Why is that? Because they don't have an opaque algorithm that prices chips, and they get paid fairly with a bunch of benefits to come. As far as I know, the last rates that I checked from the city of Seattle were $1.60 a mile and 55 cents a minute. Who wouldn't accept a trip under those circumstances? But what am I seeing with upfront fares after 2 years? We were promised that short trips would get paid more, a little bit more, and longer trips would get paid less in a so-called rebalancing. Is that really happening? I am seeing some long trips these days that are way under the IRS deduction of 67 cents. I'm seeing some long trips at 50 cents a mile, right? But then there'll be other videos about that, me responding to his comments in the last interview that he did. That's on our channel. You all can go watch it. So with that said, please join us every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, on Show Me the Money Club Live, me and Chris. And you all stay healthy and stay safe out there.